The Sikha we will be learning is in Likutei Sichos Chelik Chof, and it's the second Sikha in Parshas Vayetzei. And it talks about, it says in Parshas Vayetzei in the beginning that when Yaakov was on the way to Choron, he lay down to sleep and he had a dream. And in the dream, besides he dreamt about the ladder, it says also in Posik, he had a dream. In the dream, he saw B'nei Hashem, Nitzav Hashem is standing upon him. Vayemar, and Hashem said, Ani Hashem, Lekei Avram, Avicha, Lekei Yitzchok, I am a God, the God of Avram, your father, and Yitzchok, the God of Yitzchok. And then the Eibishter said, Ha'oretz asher ato sheichev aleo, lecho etnenu zarecha. The land that you are sleeping over, laying over, I will give to you and to your children. And this is the Rashi on this posting that the Rebbe is going to talk about. In the Heintige Seder is Doa Pirish Rashi. In this week's Seder, there is a comment of Rashi, was Bashkofer Hashem is a twist as Rashi, it might given them Pirish, Kemat Oz Ba'oz from Gemara. That at first glance, when you look at it, it looks like Rashi just copied almost word for word from what the Gemara says. But after you think about it, and especially your Medayik, we are look into the exact words of Rashi, Zetman as Rashi Debai Kor Ananda Kavana. We see that Rashi had a complete different meaning than what when the Gemara says, even though it looks like it's the same thing as the Gemara. And this is what the Rebbe says. On this posik where it says, Hashem said, the land that you are laying over, I will give to you and to your children. Zogn Chazal in Gemara, so the Chomim tell us in Gemara like this. It's in Gemara in Kol. The Gemara quotes these words of the posik, the land that you are laying over, etc., I will give you. And the Gemara asks, what's so special about it? And the Rebbe quotes Rashi. Rashi explains the question. What he promised to give his children, the 4 amas that a person lays on. He told him the land that you're laying on, as if he's saying with the amount of space you're laying on, that's what I promised to give to you and to your children. So therefore, Rabbi Yitzchak said, Melamed, it teaches us, Kiflo HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'Eretz Yisrael, L'chol Eretz Yisrael, V'nicha Tachas Yankev Avinu, and the Eibishter folded the whole of Eretz Yisrael and put it under Yankev, Kedei Shetei Neichel L'Kovish L'Bonov. The word Kedei, the Rebbe says, is not in every print in the Gemara. In the Dikduk Sofrim, it says that the word Kedei should say there. In our Gemara, it doesn't say, but it makes no difference. The Teich and the meaning is the same. And the answer is that Hashem folded all of Eretz Yisrael and put it under Yankiv, Kedei Shetei Neichel L'Kovish L'Bonov, in order that it should be easy for his children to conquer. And Rashi explains, what does that mean? How is, by telling him about the land he's laying on, that I show that'll make that it'll be easy to conquer? So Rashi says, Kedalet Amish L'Shkovei, like the 4 ames of his place where he's laying. Just like to conquer a very small area of 4 ames is very easy. So this was, the Eibishter was saying that he did this, so the way Rashi explained Pshat in the Gemara, in order that when the Yidden will later conquer, it'll be as easy as it takes to conquer a small area of Daled ames. Rashi in his commentary on the Torah quotes from the Posik the words Sheichev Eleo. As we said before, the words of the Posik is Ha'oretz asherat Sheichev Eleo. But Rashi doesn't quote all these 4 words. Rashi just quotes the words Sheichev Eleo, and we know whatever words Rashi quotes, those are the words that are negated to his pshat. So Rashi quotes the word Sheichev Eleo, and he's mefarish and explains Kipul HaKadosh Baruch Kol Eretz Yisrael Tachtov. Hashem folded all of Eretz Yisrael under him. Romazle, he hinted to him, Shetei Neichol L'Kovish L'Bonov, that it will be easy for his children to conquer. Learn the Mefarshim, so the Mefarshim learn, as Rashi is the voice in the Zelbe Shai Levi the Gemara, that Rashi means to say the same question as the Gemara. In other words, when Rashi comments something, it's because there's something that he needs to explain, clarify, something that's not clear. What's not clear in the pasuk that's bothering Rashi? So the Mefarshim, the same like the Gemara is bothered. He told him, the land that you're laying on, I'm promised to give to you and to your children. How big is the land he's laying on? So Rashi has the same problem. Doesn't write the question. So we can force him to learn. This is Rashi's question. As Rashi does always, he writes a pshat because he has a problem, and by writing his pshat, it answers the problem. So what's the problem here? What's the big deal that he's going to be able that the Eden will conquer such a land, such a small place of land. And it answers the same way the Gemara. As keep like a Baruch Hu kol Eretz Yisrael tachtov, the Eibushter folded all of Eretz under him. That's what Rashi answers. On the Chidush Revuse from der Avtoch is, and the specialty of this promise that he's saying is Shedhei Neichel Likovish Lebonov. Rashi adds that the Eibushter folded, and the Chidush is that this means it's the remez that this is going to be easy for them to conquer. Like it doesn't say why, but we understand the pshat is punktvis is gering to kevish ein dalat amos mishkove. Just like it's easy to conquer 4 amas of a person playing place where he lays. Rashi doesn't say these words, but we have to understand that's what Rashi means. So the word that Rashi said is that Eibush folded that it's a soul under him. Shadhei neichol likovish lebonav. It's that it'll be easy for his children to conquer. Dafür verstehen, the Rebbe says we have to understand. The baldas afire bi pirusha l'shas daf Rashi meisiv zayin di hasbore. Even in Rashi's commentary on Gemara, Rashi has to add to the Gemara. If loshna Gemara shetenecho the kovish levon of the Gemara says that this was so it should be easy for his children to conquer it. But Rashi has to explain it. Rashi says, what does that mean? It'll be as easy as 4 amas of a person's place where he lays. So Rashi had to explain it. If you look back in the beginning of the Sikh, he quotes from the Gemara. All the Gemara said is the Eibushter folded in order for it to be folded under him, in order to be easy to conquer. And Rashi adds, how does this show it'll be easy to conquer? Like Dalet Amas of a person's place is easy to conquer. So this also. So in the Gemara, Rashi says it. So certainly he should have added these words in his commentary to the Torah. As the Rebbe said many times, that Rashi wrote it in such a way that even the child that just starts learning Chumash, 5 years old, would understand. So if the Gemara, the one that's learning Gemara, wouldn't really understand it, how this is connected to the Eden conquering easy. And Rashi has to explain it. It'll be as easy as it takes to conquer Daladamas of a place or a person's lays. So in Chumash, which is written for younger children, even Rashi certainly should have written this, but Rashi doesn't do it. All Rashi says, he folded it as a remez that it'll be easy for his children, but he doesn't add like Dalad Ames of a person's mishkav. Why not? He should have to. If in Gemara he had to, certainly here. Second question. If the kasha, the hardship that the Rashi has in the posuk is, what's the big deal? Wie kann man sagen, that the Eibishter hat ihm auf Tier given place Dalet Amos from the Moras? How could he say the Eibishter promised him that they'll have 4 amas of this land? That was the kasha. Ma'irevuse is nit latik, so it's not simple. Rashi had gedacht, mighty sein from posuk, the Werter ha'oretz asher ato sheikh v'leh. Rashi only quotes the word sheikh v'leh. The posuk says, the land that you're laying on. Rashi quotes the word that you're laying on. If Rashi is trying to explain what's the big deal of the being able to conquer the small piece, so the problem is with the word ha'oretz. He should have quoted the word ha'oretz. Vorem de Schwierigkeit jedoch nicht in die Werte sheikh v'leh for sich. The problem is not with the word sheikh v'leh. Sheikh v'leh means you're laying. What's the problem with those words? The problem is not in them, but the shetach ha'oretz arat sheikh v'leh is gor klein dalat ames. The problem is that the part of the land that you're laying on is very small. So what's the big deal that he's giving him such a small piece? So the question is, ha'oretz asherat sheikh v'leh. The land that you're laying is giving him the land that you're laying on. So the words the land, Rashi didn't write. And if that's what Rashi is trying to explain, what does it mean? He gave him the land that he's laying on. He should have quoted from the pasuk the words. From them is moving. From that we understand that that according to simple pshat and pasuk, ubemele by Rashi, and therefore by Rashi who teaches pshuta shel mikra is nicht schwer die Scheile von Gemara Ma'irevuse. The Gemara's kasha is not Ma'irevuse. That's not what bothers the Rashi. Nor about one plays the Schwierigkeit in the Werte sheikh v'leh. He must answer some hardship we have in these words. Sheikh v'leh. That's what he quotes. Obviously, that's what bothers. Something bothers him over there. And also the fact that Rashi doesn't also write, after he writes it's going to be easy. How is this going to show that he's easy? It's not because it's like Daladamasi. The way Rashi writes in Gemara, that it's saying that This will be easy, like it's easy to conquer Dal Damas. This is not that this is going to be easy, is not from the fact that the Shetach Oretz was small, and B'meili you'll be able to conquer it like it conquers such a small place. Or from the Vert Sheikh Baleh Gufa. Must be from the word Sheikh Baleh, we know that it's going to be easy to conquer. But how is it? But we see from the words of Rashi that it's not like what the Gemara says. Then the Rabbi continues. The Metzam Apirish Romas Leishadeinech Neichel Likovish Labonim Tafim Verstehen. In the comment itself that Rashi says that by doing this he hinted to him it'll be easy for his children to conquer it. We have to understand. In Gemara is a Loshen Kif Lakadish Baruch Chulu Kadesh Neichel Likovish Labonim. Gemara says the Eibush folded the land, so it shall be easy for his children to conquer. But Rashi is Meshanu Meisiv. Rashi changes and he adds. Romaz leisheteinecha. In Gemara it says he did it so it shall be easy. In other words, this will make it easy. And Rashi says this was a hint. It's a hint to him. That it'll be easy. Was in Pashas the Chilui B'neihem simple? What's the difference between these two expressions of the Gemara and from Rashi? When you say Kedei sheteinecha l'kovish levona, that he did it in order. And even the truth is, even if you don't, as we said before, the word Kedei is not necessarily the real Loshen Gemara, but even without it, but certainly with it, it means in order it should be easy. This means Ados was HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that this as Hashem folded it, Hot Uvgetonas is all Zayin Leikovish. This is in order to be easy. It means this caused it to be easy. Mashenke Romas Leishate, when it says he hinted to him that it'll be easy, not all it means as the Rabbi Short Maram is given, the Rabbi hinted, which means Megala given, he revealed to him. Megala given Yankiv, he revealed to Yankiv. Azach was vet pasim lachas, he hinted to him of something that's going to happen. Ader kibush haaretz Vayetzei neiche. He just showed him that this will be easy. It's not telling him, as I've said, this is going to cause it to be easy. He's just telling him this is the future that's going to be easy. So we have to understand. Why does Rashi change from the Gemara? What's wrong? The Gemara says that this was in order, so it should be easy. Why did Rashi make it that this is only a remes to Yaakov that this will be easy? The opposite. Made according to the Gemara, which says, "As keep Lakadosh Baruch Hu that the folding of Eretz Yisrael under Yaakov was the cause that later on it'll be easy." Is verstandig the Netigkeit in the Nesa Kippur. So we understand why it was so important for David to do this folding, which was a big ness. But if it's like Rashi says, it's only he gave him a hint to know what's going to be in the future. He does see this with the zelt free about Avram and to Dibur kids. But we find before about Avram and David wanted to tell him what's going to be in the future. How did he do it? He didn't make it a Muslim in the things that he did. He told him. So here too. If David just, the way Rashi says, wanted to hint to him what's going to be in the future, to tell him what's going to be, should have told it to him. So you need a miracle, and such a big miracle that has no achize, no hold on in nature, to zusammenlegen ganz Eretz Yisrael, to put together whole of Eretz Yisrael unter the Dalet Amos Yankiv, under the 4 Amos of Yankiv. Why did they have to, in order just to tell him what's going to be later, they need such a big ness? And here we have to stop for a second and go into the Sinyan that in Ha'ara 11, the Rebbe says that Meforshim talk about it, and they have all kinds of different explanations, what it means, what the nest, how it was. But the Rebbe says this is not pshat. What they say is not Rashi's derech. So you can't accept that what they say is what Rashi meant. Then the Rebbe says in Cheskuni, it says that it was only a cholam. So it's not a nest. In the dream he saw it, but really he didn't do it. But the Rebbe says that according to Rashi, which is Pshute Shel Mikro, Rashi doesn't say that it was in the cholam. This that he was laying there and the Eibishter folded everything is not in the cholam. The cholam started when the Eibishter spoke to him in the cholam. The Eibishter told him that this place that you are laying, physically laying, this is going to show a remez that later on it'll be easy to conquer. But this was not a cholam. This happened. Now, I have no idea what that means. In Pshuta Shel Mikra, what it means that the Eibishter folded. So if you look like the other Meforshim, it means Beruchnis, all kinds of other things I could understand. But the way Rebbe says that Rashi learns that Poshet Gashmi, Poshet physically or simply, he did it. And it's a big ness. But I don't know what that means, but the Rebbe doesn't say anything what it means. The Eibishter folded. So what happened to the other people? What happened to the people when he folded it under there? Did they get squished? I mean, I'm just joking, but so it must be some kind of nest that the Eibishter folded it, which we don't understand how he did it, and it didn't affect that all the other people. Yitzchok was there, and he was there, all the people were there. But upon him, this is what happened. The Eibishter folded, somehow he did it, and it was a big miracle. But such a big miracle is only to, the Rebbe asks, according to Rashi, is only to show what's going to be in the future, that it'll be easy. Let him say it, like he said to Avraham, other things. Why would he? So l'chur, if Rashi would learn like the Gemara that this was a cause, we could understand. They needed an S, because in order to make happen later that it should be easy, the Eibishter had to do something. But here they didn't cause anything. They just to tell him what, to be meramis to him, to hint to him what's going to happen. Why the Eibishter have to do it? The Chura can answer like this. Al derech hapshat is schwer zu sagen, das was Kippel HaKadosh Baruch Hu tachte von Yankim is a luft in the Pule von Eichel Kovish Lebonov. Kama der is nachase. That maybe Rashi doesn't learn like the Gemara, that this caused that later on, years later, when the Eden will conquer Eretz Yisrael, it will be easy for them. So Rashi learns, it's hard to say in derech hapshat that when he folded Eretz Yisrael under Yaakov, that should cause that later on to his children, many generations later, it should be easy for them. How would doing this here would cause hundreds of years later for them easier to conquer it? The Farland Rasha does is given place aremes. That's what Rasha doesn't want to learn like the Gemara, that this is a cause for what's going to happen later. So he learns it just a hint. So that you could answer. As Leib to just notify the future, came to Hashem speaking. And Hashem doesn't make miracles for no reason. Here, he didn't have to make such a miracle. He could have just said to him, that'll be easy for them and finished. So we're back to the kasha. Why does Rashi not learn like the Gemara? We understand why he doesn't learn like the Gemara too, but the kasha comes back. Rashi's pshat is hard to understand. The Gemara is also hard to understand, but Rashi's pshat is also hard to understand. Eich is nicht verstanden, also not understood. The Teichen HaPirish Kippel HaKadosh Baruch Hu bringt sich Eich Medrash. This idea that David folded Eretz Yisrael under him is also in the Medrash, not only in the Gemara. Dort is the Ruiz for Nietzsche Teinecha the Kovish Lebonu. There it finishes off, not that he did it so it should be easy for his children to conquer, nor Keinish the Omar min Tcheis Reisha Yidoch. It's like people say, I guess this was an expression in time of the Medrash, that someone wanted to say, I'm giving you something. So he would say, like a person, the Omar that says, min Tcheis Reisha, whatever is under your head, Yidoch is yours. So the Eibishter put him there, he lay down there, and the Eibishter folded the whole of Eretz Yisrael, saying that Mita, the Eibishter gave him Yankiv and violence of Eretz Yisrael. By doing that, the Eibishter gave him ownership. You say you're laying under it, so people say something that's under you is yours. In the order 14, the Rabbi actually brings from the Meforshim on the Medrash that it means it's not that whatever is laying under you, but it becomes yours like something that's under your head. But Akapona, the bottom line is what the Medrash is learning, that the Eibishter did is to tell Yaakov, I'm doing, this is happening, so to show that you are Balabos. So the Eibishter gave him ownership of Eretz Yisrael. So since the Medrash learns like that, so you can learn it like that too. Why does Rashi learn? This was a hint that it'll be easy for the children to conquer something that'll be in generations later. Because you can now, and as we said before, it's not understood. The kasha that we asked before, that how could we say that this is something that's going to be later? We said before is not so, even according to Rashi. But this we said before, according to the Gemara, it's hard to say that this is going to help with later. But even a Remez, the Rebbe says here, like even in Rashi, like he's hinting that even according to Rashi, that all he did, he hinted to him, but he hinted now, but something is going to be later. Und lernt nicht Kipirisch Medrash. Why doesn't Rashi learn like the Medrash? Als das gewähnt zu beweisen, die Beiles von Yankev und Gufa, wenn es so mit Ches Reisha die Doch. Why wasn't Rashi learn that he wanted to show your balabos? Why would Rashi learn, as we said before, that he did it to get Remes for later, which is a problem anyway, even though the Rebbe didn't mention that problem in Rashi, he mentioned that problem in the Gemara, but in Rashi it's also a problem, something for later, when they have an Yisrael Pshat. He did something for him, for Yaakov himself. He told him, I folded the whole Eretz to show that you're the balabos, and that's something they gave to him right now. The Tmiya in them is noch starker. The Kasha the Rebbe says is even stronger. Even Avram, zog the Gemara, even concerning Avram, the Gemara says at the Tamat Sivui that the reason why there was a commandment to Avram, Hashem said to him, go around, walk in the land for its length and breadth, because I'll give it to you. So the Gemara says, why did Hashem tell him to go? In order it should be easier for his children to conquer. So he said, and by going that, it's a sign that, not a sign, this will make that it'll be easier for them to conquer. So this the Gemara says, but dort bringt das Rashi nicht darauf. Der Rashi doesn't bring it. Is mashme, so it seems, aderinje von der Chlekavish Lebonav durch Pula Sa'av is schwer zu sagen der Chabshat. That to say that by the father walking is going to make it easier for the children to conquer, in der Chabshat, it's not understood. So we can't say, so Rashi doesn't bring it to the Gemara that this is in order for make it easier for them. So what does Rashi, so what is the Pshat and Posik if it's not to show, to make it easier for them? When the Mechuvim for Kumis Halaboris, it Pashtas. What the Posik meant when the Abishah told him, go walk on the land, is simple. Because Rashi is going to top touch him. Rashi doesn't even have to say it clearly. As Avram Zolton Apula, what he wanted Avram to do something, to do an act, Arum game, vu und wie will. He should walk around as he wants, where he wants, und keine Städte, no one can stop him. Meise Balabos, meise an expression. Show he's Balabos. Was Bavais, sein Beilas of Eretz Yisrael, because the Kamas Zayin later explains, it shows that his ownership of Eretz Yisrael. So there, the Gemara Taka says it's in order to make it that the Eden should be easier to conquer. Rashi doesn't bring it, because Rashi, the Pasha, that's hard to say. For something of your, what he did should help for years later. But Rashi doesn't have to say anything. That's very simple. Rashi, says, I promise to give you Eretz Yisrael. Go, walk around. Show your balabos. Walk wherever you want. So over there it's like that. So why does Rashi learn that when Hashem folded Eretz Yisrael by Yankiv, is nicht given als Beweis von seinem Beilas of Eretz Yisrael, was not to show his ownership, like the Medish is, nor Ramas Lech, the Nechel Kobish Labonim, was a hint that his children would be easy to conquer. So we see the Medish learns that this was a way to show Bailas. We see by Avram Avinu, he told him to walk his own to show his Bailas, show his ownership. So why can't Rashi learn here too? And then everything will be fit. It's no question of how could what he does now help for later, or even the Remes for later. Because it's for now. Rashi could have learned like that, and everything would have been fine. So the beer in them, the explanation is like this. Im Pshuta Shel Mikra is Malchatchil Mitok north of the Shailuf in Gemara Meira Vosin. First thing the Rebbe said, why that the Rashi doesn't learn like the Gemara, that the question on the Pasuk is, what's the big Chidush that he'll conquer 4 Ames? Seems like Rashi didn't say that. That's the Rebbe is learning that this is not what bothering Rashi. And he gives a good reason why. And that's why we'll see that Rashi doesn't quote the words of Oretz, because if the whole Kasha, is this all the land is giving you? So he should have quoted Oretz, Rashi doesn't quote Oretz. This is not what's bothering you. Because when he said the land that you're laying on, doesn't mean that specific small area that Yankiv was laying on. Nor Oretz the land. They meant the land. Zay, meaning the words, Asherat Sheikh Valeo, Taichinop them Vort Haaretz. It just explains what's land. Oh, Haaretz means the land. Whenever it says Ha means this is a specific one that's known. He's telling you that welcher land is der Meduber. What is he talking about? He's saying when they give you the land, and he's saying das land welcher du liegst. The land that you're laying on. Doesn't mean I'm only going to give you that little space that you're laying on. I'll give you the whole land. But which land? The land that he's laying on. So it's no problem. The Gemara's question is, it seems from the Pasuk that he's telling, I'm going to give you this little land, this place you're laying. Why does in Pshuta Shel Mikra? That's not the Pshat in Pasuk. On the Pasuk, I'll give you this land. And he's describing which land, the one that you're laying on. And the land is very big, but doesn't mean just a specific area. The Far stellt sich mit Rashi of them, was steht früher by Avram, and this is also the reason why Rashi doesn't say in the earlier place where it says by Avram, David said to Avram, the whole land that you see, I will give to you. So Rashi could have asked the kasha there also. What's the kasha? You could have asked the same kasha like according to before, like the Gemara asks here. What should be the kasha? A mensch kennt doch sein Blaze Hashetach Betzumzum. A person could see only a little bit. Now that 22, the Rebbe says, the Zayar says you could see 3 parsa, you could see 4 parsa, 5 parsa, but that's all. So only you could see only a small land. And for Eretz Yisrael, he says in Rashi, the Rebbe brings in order 23. It's 400 parsa and 400. All the person can see is 3, 4, 5. That's all you can see. So Tovos is the Ubifratas is an Eretz Horem Egvois, especially there are mountains and valleys. So when you look from wherever you look, things black. So first of all, how far can a person see? And you can't see when there are mountains and valleys. Tovos is the Kavone from the Haftoch as Horas Asharat that the land you see, I'll give you. If we learn here, we would think to learn the piece of small land means that's all you get. So over there also, he says you'll get the land that you see. So how much could he see already? So he could see a few miles. That's all he was going to give him. If you say he's standing on a high mountain. He could see very far, a very big space. So we told him, look, all 4 sides. So maybe he saw more than the average. It's still hard to say, as he was able to see the whole of Eretz Yisrael. So what did Eibush mean when Eibush said, the land that you see, I will give you? So very simple. The kasha pshat is no kasha. When he said, I'll give you the land that you see, he didn't mean just whatever you see. He meant to give the whole land. The land was the land that you see, the whole land. But in order to say which land, the land that you're looking at. But doesn't mean I'll give you just what you see. So this is the same thing here also, the Rebbe says. That Rashi is not bothered by, it says the land that you're laying on, I'll give you that. All it means is giving the 4 ames, and what's the big chiddush? No, that's not the pshat. So the word Asher Sheikh Aleho, so the word means that this land, the land is Eretz Yisrael, but how to describe it? The land that you're sitting on, the land, in this case, the land that you're laying on. The Shailim Posik, was Rashi the Uista. So what is bothering Rashi? If this is not a problem, so why does Rashi say anything? If there is no problem to understand the Posik, it's simple, then what does Rashi say? So what is Rashi trying to explain? So the kasha and the words, why it's a small place, that's not the kasha. There's another kasha. Why did the Eibishter have to add the word Sheikhev Aleh, V'yasim in the Eretz Yisrael? When he wanted to say to him, this is the land I'm going to give you, why did they have to add the land you're laying on? It says in many places, the Eibishter said, this land I'll give you. So he should have said, this land I'll give you. Why is it important to say the land you're laying on? So the problem Rashi has is only with the words that Sheikh Avaleo that you're laying on. Those are extra words. By Avram, when the Eibush said, pick up your eyes, the land that you see, I'm going to give you. So you could ask the same question. Why is he? She said, this land I'll give you. Why do you say if the land that you see? There we understand. When I give you a present, someone gives someone a present, he shows him. I think when the Rebbe said the Sikha, he mentioned even the example, when you give someone a house, it's a big house, you take him around, you show him to see what you're giving him. To recognize what you're getting. So it makes sense. David said, the land that you see. He wants to say, I'm giving you this land, and he shouldn't say this land. Look at it. See for your own eyes what you're getting. So there we understand why David said it. But here, when he says, I'm going to give you this land, what's the gate that he's laying on it? Should have said, this land I'm giving you. That's what bothers Rashi. The word Sheikh the fact that you're laying on it, why is that important to mention? The Rebbe learned Rashi, that's what Rashi learns, and that's the teretz. Kibul HaKadosh Baruch Hu Eretz Yisrael, the Tacht of David, folded the whole of Eretz Yisrael under him, which means, mitzogen Eretz Asher at the Sheikh Avaleh, the Rebbe to give an uisen, by saying these words, the land that you are laying on, Hashem meant to get masim and nit nor von Eretz, wie es gegeben bei Asher Atarei von Avram, and not only to tell us which land, like by Avram, when he said the land that you see meant that this is the land and land that you see. And why did he say see? Because I wanted them to see it. But there it meant to tell him which Eretz. Nor if Yankas bailas von Eretz, what he meant to say is that he put him there. He said the land that you're laying on was to show, like the Medrash says, the land that you're laying on, you're getting means it's yours. But Dugma Tzukum is halach ba'oretz from Avram. Just like we said before, when David told Avram to go. So Rashi doesn't say it's in order that should be easy to conquer. So here also, the reason why David said Asher Sheikhav Aleh, so he said this is in order to show the Bibles. So far, we're not finished yet, because so far, Rashi learns that David said the Sheikhav Aleh, keep David fold over its Yisrael by laying on it, like the Medrash says, shows your Bibles. Das ist aber noch nicht maßig. This is not enough. Weil der Tamlik derech Abschatz was der Rebischter hat gesagt, Avram, komm heißt heilig ba'oretz. Because by Avram, when David said, walk in the land, he need while then mitwert starke die Avtoche for the Mebish and Chot and Lazarach. It's not because if he says, go there, it makes stronger the fact that it's going to become yours. Al derech adrush, chul is doch achilles zwischen der Mebish und Avtoche, wie sie ist in Orbekeach, wie sie ist verbunden mit Alpeil. By Alpi Chassidus, Alpi Drush, Alpi other ways, there is a difference. The David promises something and he says something that's going to happen, in potential, it's going to be in the future, or something that's happening. So there you could say, the Eibishter said, go, so now it'll come into Peil. Aber al derech Pshat, according to Pshat, is when the Eibishter is maftiach, the Eibishter promises something, felt nicht in dem, as man soll das darf verbinden mit a Peil. We don't need it, should be connected to a Peil. So why the Eibishter say walk? Show your Bilas. Why does the Eibishter want to show your Bilas? So it should actually come a Peil. Who cares? Why does it have to come a Peil? So you would think the Eibishter wanted Avram to see it happening. No, for that we don't need it. I mean, the Eibishter wanted to make it. I'm sorry. The Eibishter wanted that his Avtocha should be stronger. No, das ist Avram, and the reason he said go is for Avram's purpose. The Avtocha for the Eibishter Gelachot Nena soll by him der filled werden that this promise that the Eibishter said, I'll give it to you, so he should feel. He should feel it so true. He should feel, not that David says, then you'll be sure I'll give it to you because I told you to walk. That's not the reason. The reason that Avram should feel that his ownership is so strong that he's the balabos over the land. As if it became his land already. Or you walking around wherever you want, long. Freier hate, you go free to the length and the width, being on eigenem land. So we know why David told him to do it. By the case of Yankiv, David folded the whole land. And we said before, folded the whole land to show his bylaws. What's the purpose? When Yankiv had to buy God nicht getan zu weisen sein bylaws, Yankiv didn't do anything to show his ownership. Keiner hat es nicht gesehen. No one even saw that he's laying there. Therefore, no one even knew about it. So the shaili is Taka. We said before that Rashi learns that the pshat is sheikh v'aleh. Why does it say he wants to tell him lay on it? This is showing that it's yours. What was the purpose? Why did he have to show it to him that you're the bilus? So by Avram, when he told him to go, so he wanted Avram to feel. He told Avram, "I want you to feel balabas. Go walk around, show your balabas." Here. Whom was he showing? He's not showing there. By Avram, he's showing people, see, walking, the boss. Here, no one saw it. No one even knew about it. Noch mehr Rebbe says even more. Those Gufe is nie gewinnen an Eifen, that der Eibishter hat gesagt, Schreibele. It's not that the Eibishter told him, by Avram, the Eibishter told him, go for a purpose. Go and feel that you're balabos. The Eibishter then told him to lay down. Nur bei Yishkav Yankiv, it's like Yankiv lay down. Und noch dem, as it is saying, dot tachtov, after he lay down, then keep like a Baruch, and they should fall to the Eretz Yisrael, and the noch vayachlim yad cholim, and not him gezogt Eretz Asher at Sheikh v'leil cholatnan, and he told him the land that you're laying, that you lay down on your own, is going to be. I'm giving it. This is the one I'm going to give you. Is was hat sich da aufgetan like Yankiv mit dem was keep like a Baruch and kol Eretz Yisrael tachtov. What happened here? What added? But Eibishter did it and folded everything. So we said that before that the pshat is Rashi learns like the Medrash that the reason he folded it under him is to show his bilus. But that gufa still needs explanation. Why is it important to show the bilus? What happened? What gained by showing the bilus? By Avram, it gained that he should show balabas. Eibishter told him to go. And Eibishter never told him to go. Told him to lay down, and no one even saw it. So what's he showing? What's the purpose? Them is Rashi Mamsha. That's why Rashi adds. Remez. This was a hint to him that it'll be easy for the children to conquer. Those are the Rebbe gave Yankiv and Bailas Vayetzei Blazer Zayin Sheikh Belo. When the Rebbe gave Yankiv Bailas, he told him the place you're laying, he folded that it's a Yisrael. By doing that, he made the Bailas through laying down. Nitve by Avram was given kumis halach, but it's not like by Avram. He told him walk. Is the chidush? This is the chidush in the Raftoch leYankiv the Raftoch of Avram. This is the fact that he did it through laying down. That's special by Yaakov more than even by Avram. What? So that explains it. In the Raftoch at Yankiv, we given the roof to the chidush by Raftoch at Yankiv at the kibush order Zurbonov at Onkum Ring. When he promised him this will be yours and your children's, so he did it in a way that to conquer it will be easy. On kein tircha, no bother. There's siman of Zambailas of Eretz Yisrael. This siman on his own, because we said before that Rasha learned that the fact that he late and David folded it so to show that he's his bailas. But it's in such a way, in Anefen, as a darf der by gon niton. He doesn't have to do anything. When he was laying there, liegt alle Oret, you're laying on the ground, bakum the merits, you get the land for Eibishter. Keep like a Baruch Hu, kol Eretz Yisrael tach, the Eibishter folded everything, the Eibishter gave him everything. So, Itaka showed his bailas, but there was an additional prat, showed his bailas to be also, through this, a remez that it'll be very easy for you to conquer. Very easy. Because he's just laying on it, which is not like the Gemara. The Gemara says this was in order that it should be conquered. And Rashi explains, what does the Gemara mean? The Gemara means, like it's easy to conquer 4 Amas, it'll be easy for the Tzam to conquer. The Rebbe learns that's not, and the Rebbe asks, why doesn't Rashi explain those words like he did in the Gemara? That what does it mean? It'll be easier, like the Daladam. Rashi doesn't say it. Obviously, that's not the pshat. The pshat, it'll be easy, just like you're laying there. It's simple. You're laying there, and this shows your bailas. Means how do you get your bailas? By laying. There's nothing to do. The Eibishter is the one that folded, and the Eibishter did it, and you're just laying there. So that's a remez for the future. It'll be easy. Well, the Hoyer, the Rebbe said, I want to comment. Here we see how learning it in the simple pshat brings out something different, a special, wondrous, special chidush versus the way it's in the Gemara. Later, Gemara according to the Gemara, comes out at the Neicha Litvish Labonov. Gemara comes out that it showed that this will make that it'll be easy for the children to conquer. It's connected to work, act, and a bother of the children. What did they say? This will make that it'll be easy. Be easy like what? Like conquering the Daladamas. But you still got to conquer it. Rashi comes and adds something. Even the small bother of conquering, even easy like a small space, they won't need by the conquering of Eretz Yisrael. It'll be that just by laying on it. Und noch von früher. He laid down before the Eibishter folded. So you'll be just laying down. When the Eibishter wird alles up, and the Eibishter he'll fold it, just like he did here. He folded it. So the Eibishter will do the same when it'll come to conquer its throne. Al deref Chizkiah Melech had gesagt, like it says in Tanakh, and it has a medish pshat in Tanakh, as Chizkiah said, when he had a war, that Ani Yoshna Metosit, Eibishter promised him he'll fight a war for him. He said, I'll sleep on my bed. V'ata saying, David, you will do. Here also, David said, by you laying here, this is showing your bailas. It's a remez that by Deen will also, they won't have to do anything. They'll just lay down, and they won't even have to put in a small effort, like according to the Gemara, you have to, it'll be easy like it takes to conquer 4 Amas, which is a small effort, but there's effort. Here there won't even be effort. In Poshet of in simple words, it's enough that you can just lay there, which means it's like a play on word, lay there, being in Eretz Yisrael. Unalu Mesalem, the Medarf, Kavizain, and all the nations of the world, all the Goyim, that we have to conquer, sign a Meide, as Kol Eretz Yisrael. They will on their own admit that all of Eretz Yisrael, Gans Eretz Yisrael, whole of Eretz Yisrael, with all its borders, is Nachlas Elam from Am Yisrael, is an inheritance forever for Yidden. Yidden am Gans Eretz Yisrael, Onken Shumulchome, the Yidden will have all of Eretz Yisrael without any war. And the Rebbe says in order 36, as Rashi in Dvorim says, that the way it's supposed to be, that no one's going to argue, that originally it's supposed to be, we wouldn't even have to fight a war. And the Rebbe says that Mashiach will come, be that way. So this is according to Pshat. So Rashi didn't bring the words, so it'll be easy it says it'll be easy. A remez, it'll be easy, but it doesn't bring the words like conquer 4 amas. That's not what Rasha means. It'll be easy, like laying down, and it happening by itself. So that's why even though the Gemara learns different Pshat, but Rasha learns different. And Rasha makes a chiddush over the Gemara that Yidden will not have to conquer, Mashiach will come. The Biber is the explanation in the deeper Pshat is. So you do about the Mittel Rebbe, the Balagula Vasimcha of Yud Kislev. This is the week of Yud Kislev, from the day that the Mittel Rebbe went out of jail. He's called the Balagula Vasimcha. So the Mittel Rebbe is Mevayber Mamora Yidu Atechot, explains in the famous Maimer called, starts with the words Atechot. So he explains there as in the Dalat Amos when I mentioned is Meir B'chinas Chidish B'nefesh. We know every person has 5 parts of his neshama: nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechide. Yechide is the makiv. It says nefesh, ruach, neshama is the pnimi, it's inside. Ruach and chaya, is already makiv, but the real makiv that's around the person, the person is not a kela to absorb it. So he says, where is that found? It's in the around the person, the daladamas of the person. Or that's such a high surrounding keach. Makiv is a surrounding keach. Was kenny cheres an alaguf. Afilu b'chines makiv can't come into the body, even surrounding inside in the form of makiv. The father does it mispashik in the daladam shaloda, but does is mekayme. It's mispasha that spreads out to the daladam of the person. That's called the mekayme shaloda. So it's outside of the person, but it encompasses the whole daladam of the person. And das is was kippel HaKadosh Baruch Hu Eretz Yisrael tachtov. This is what it means that the Eibishter folded ganz Eretz Yisrael, whole of Eretz Yisrael, under him. The Daladama Shal Yankiv. The Eibishter folded Eretz Yisrael in the Daladamas of Yankiv, which is Yechida, as we said. But their mithot, their verbundene Beiles of Eretz Yisrael, Mepchinis Yechida from Yankiv. By doing that, the Eibishter connected the Eden's ownership of Eretz Yisrael with the Yechida of Yankiv, with the Yechida of every single man, woman of Eden. For all the neshamas are his children. All the neshamas are included and come from the neshama of Yankiv. So if Yankiv's Yechida was connected to Eretz Yisrael, means that all the Eden's connection to Eretz Yisrael is Inyan of Eretz Yisrael is connected to their Yechida. It's connected to Yechida by Yid. That's why this thing that happened by Yankiv caused that it'll be easy for the Eden to conquer. Bis as bei Eden wird es sein in Eden for Sheikh Valeo. Und als wird sich auf dem Meile Canal. So much so that all the Eden have to do, lay there, be there, and everything will happen from Hashem, like I said before. Why is it? While in Prinis Yechidis and Sheikhs Kemanagit, there's nothing that could fight with Yechide. And the Rebbe in Hora 40 brings the Kutatera, other places where it says that in Klippe, which is the opposite of Gedusha, you have Nefesh Ruach, but there's nothing. Yechida doesn't exist in Klippe. So when it comes to something that has Yechida, there's nothing to be able to fight it. Und der Fire wird von dort aufgetan, der Birre bei der Chamele Me'elef, on Milchome, na Eifen for Shalom. That's why when we have to purify the place, elevate the place, and get the place, it comes with Shalom. You don't have to fight, because there's no more fighting. Since the Eibishter made it, it's connected to his Daladamas, and Daladamas is Yechida, so that's why it's connected to Pshat of Rasha, that you won't even have to fight, you won't have to do anything. Another great thing, wondrous thing that we see in Rasha over what the Gemara says. In Gemara steht ados was kopla kadosh baruch hu in gewend der tam als kadesh teineach the kovish lebonov. The Gemara comes out, like I said before, that reason Hashem folded Eretz Yisrael, that's the reason is so it shall be easier for the children for the Eden later to conquer. What does that mean? That the Eibishter, through what happened by Yaakov, put in a certain power into Eretz Yisrael as la'achres man, that later, when the Eden will gain in the and if Eden will fight, that the kibush debos onkommen gring, then the conquering will be easy. I'll give it to you. The Rebbe wird es geben, der Rebbe will give it. Aber as Eden wollen gehen einem in der Eben von Neiche is nicht so geworden. Der Rebbe, according to the Gemara, didn't say that this Eden will conquer Eretz Yisrael. The Rebbe said, when they conquer Eretz Yisrael, it'll be easy. Because this makes it, it'll be easy for them. It doesn't say that they will, which could be saying if they'll conquer, when they'll conquer, which could be when, could be also if they'll conquer. When they decide to conquer, it'll be easy. It doesn't say that they will conquer. And the Rebbe adds, by the way, Hein zet me leider. Now, unfortunately, we see as an Veran Azelch Eden Rachman al-Islam, was man darf man sich einteilen, as ganz zu Sörlich mit Liseo, geherrscht mit den Volk als nach Salem. There are some people nowadays that Yidden Rachman al-Islam, who claim, and we have to fight with them to explain to them that the whole of Eretz Yisrael belongs to the Yiddish folk, to the Jewish nation, as a Nachla Salem. So, from the Gemara, it didn't say that will happen. So there are some people that go taina. Who says it's ours? We shouldn't go fight for it. Not our word fight. We shouldn't work on getting it. Rasha Heipton Pirusha al Teira. Rasha, when he starts his commentary on the Teira, says, "As Beleis Uma Salem on Kumetz again tainen listimatem." Rasha says, why does it start with Breishis? Because Uma Salem Goyim will come and claim that Eretz Yisrael, Yidden stole Eretz Yisrael. So the Pasuk starts with the creation of the world to say the Eibush created, and he's the boss. He gives it to him. He wants, he gave it to us. But according to Rasha, who's going to taina this? Goyim will taina this. But to say that Yidden should taina that, well, noch mehr goes more. Bald das Teire says was mit darf sie entfernen. Since the Teire says, which is the Teire's truth, says what you should answer, and the way Rasha says you should answer, Kol Ha'oretz Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the whole world is Eibishter's. But saying the Nortel Memonos Lon, he want. With his will, he took it from them and gave it to us. He's verstandig, so from that we understand as Eib nor mezog dem entfer zu dum Salem. We understand if you say this answer to the goyim, the medarf übergeben dem Eibishter's reden shlichus, the way a person should give over Hashem's words and Hashem's mission, with the richtigen take with the proper strength, as they don't feel that that the goyim should feel that it's coming from your heart, but it's lagamer mavatal sein im Ire from dum Salem that will completely destroy, reject the fight, the challenge of the goyim. Come again, Eden Rachman und Taina Kaper. Come Eden and they say the opposite. So that the Rebbe makes, by the way, that Eden are doing the opposite. In other words, and from the Gemara, Taka doesn't say clearly that David said the Eden will conquer. And there are Taka Eden that who say that it's not ours and we don't have to do it. He said, Hashem Avayr Mafara to Mesef. So Rashi explains and goes in detail. And as with Perusha al Teire, if Loshna Gemara adds in the commentary at Teire, over what the Gemara says, there's a hint here. Der Eibishter hat Merames gewinnt zu Yankiv, and der Eibishter hinted to him. Who's the him? Yankiv. Und durch dem Eichlebonev, and through that it went transferred to the children, to the Eden. So the Eibishter, it will happen. The Eibishter, it will happen. But those goofies, I say this in Sineskeya, this itself is an awakening and gives the power. Utviyah. Tviyah means memont, expecting it, wanting it, asking for it. Kavers are to conquer. For the ganze Bri is miyusad of Kol Mashabarak Kadosh Baruch Hu V'Lo Midei Bora Do V'Rechad V'Atola. The whole creation is founded. This is the foundation. On this idea that whatever the Eibishter created in the world, he didn't create one dover, one thing Levatola. So Allah Zakama when Hashem is as Meramis. So here, it's not only that the Eibishter created something. The Eibishter said, as Hashem had geton nid dover echas and Nesgod. Here the Eibishter made such a big nest and folded Eretz Yisrael, however it should mean, he folded Eretz Yisrael to be merames, that it will be easy to conquer. So what does it say? Mir Rasha is more than the Gemara. The Gemara doesn't. The Gemara says, if the Eden will conquer, then it'll be easy. He said, Rebbe says that they will conquer. And that's what you got to do. It's a tviyah, the Rebbe says, it's misimonzach. The Eidya Shleimer, you could also say, as like Pirish Rasha is the Pirish Shetehei, as a Svetzain, when it says Shetehei Neicha, it'll be easy for them to conquer. As a Svez, it will be the Reibush that Merames given to Yankim Ametzias as Bonne Vel einem Eretz Gringerate. That it's a fact that the word Rasha is Shetei Necha. It's not only because the Leib, but he said it clear that it will be easy to conquer. The Eden will be easy to conquer. And what am I because the Eibishter promised, Safe Yisrael lost his tshuva b'sev gelusen. At the end will be, at the end of our goal, everyone will do tshuva. Kela leich alles, alle, includes as alle Eden will stehen noch begalusen, mit an emes and take of unhalten ganzheit terms mit Yisrael. Because it says besov galusen. So the Eden will do tshuva at the end of goal, while they're still in Golas. This includes also those people that are feeling that their Yisrael is not ours. They will, while they're in Golas, they will come with the true take and true strength to hold on to Eretz Yisrael with all its borders, and the right away the Eden will go out of Golos, like the Rambam says, very soon in our days. So here at the end it needs some still explanation. When the Rebbe said that from Gemara is mashmer that when the Eden will conquer, it'll be easy. And according to Rasha, what does Rasha say? that he's merames, he's telling him to Yankiv that you will conquer it. And Eidia Shleimer, the Rebbe, this is additional for the word Shetehei. I don't know, it seems like it was the same thing I've said before, but here's Medayika that it'll be easy. That the Ramaz like Shetehei Neich, it will be easy. That the fact is that it will be easy. I don't know exactly what the Rebbe adds with the last piece, but extra kvetch by being Medayika in the word Shetehei or something like that.